Thecelticmind is back, the 25-26 season. I'm your host, Ray McDade, and today's guest is Lewis Morgan. Please like and subscribe and enjoy episode 70 of The Celtic Mind. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 72 or 71. Is it 71? I don't know.
Who's really keeping
Nobody knows at this point because of the shambles. It's 72, but it doesn't matter. Nobody knows at this point because of the shambles the board are, and I'll fix that while we decide to start talking about. Sadly, Lewis, you better get your tablets ready, Lewis, because it's depression time. Sorry, that was a joke. That was a joke. So, well, it's only. It's the, yeah, that was a good one. But anyway, it's the only thing you can do, because if you want to have a good time, please do not watch Celtic Football Club or listen, or in general, please don't. But obviously this week we're going to be talking about that derby. It happened on Sunday. That obviously transfers. We have to talk about that deadline day, and of course the players we brought in, and obviously the big discussion. Don't worry, we're not going to repeat ourselves. This is going to be fresh stuff.
We are 100% going to repeat ourselves.
But I mean, it cannot be, Lewis, because I mean it's just an utter shambles. As that is the title of this week's podcast. And as always, the support has been great, especially in college now. So we've got it a bit more so. Please remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and follow. Let us just get rambling into this. So obviously on Sunday it was the derby, and it was called the worst derby of all time because you could have went to sleep and nothing. I mean,
I think you could have turned off the match and missed nothing.
Honestly, it was because I made this point. John Souttar's goal that was offside. See if that goal wasn't offside, that would have been the goal of the game. That would have been the winner because we had two shots on target that never troubled Button. And I said to you, Lewis, as well, see if Celtic, right, we always turn up for these big derby games that actually matter.
Yeah.
And if we had one bit of luck and go, here, Club Brugge put past 6, 9 in total, if you include the week before that, against Rangers. Do you know what I mean? Like, Rangers are not, especially the start of the season Rangers have had, how can you not look at that and go, here, this is a brilliant opportunity and we should be getting 3 points? We're sitting here. Normally, a draw, Lewis, at Ibrox is good.
Yeah, because, it's always a heated match.
But coming out of that felt like Kaira Almaty 2.0. That was the same performance again.
It's really not ideal.
No, and I want to put this question to you. It was obviously when we got onto the board and the transfers, obviously that is going to be a big thing, right? But Rodgers can't escape criticism. I know we can go.
He's got to go.
I can feel for him, right? And the bit we're going to talk about the board, right? We'll talk about that soon. But Rodgers, it can't just be poor decision making because this guy has been at the club before. He also knows the Scottish football game. He's played. You know what I mean? On you go, Lewis.
I think it's a bit of a cycle with the Broad. At Liverpool, after his first 2 seasons, it starts to fall off. At Celtic before, it falls off. Leicester, I think,
the 3 years,
the most disastrous one. And now we're seeing it again.
Yep.
The board obviously aren't without their issues. But to let Rodgers off would be hypocritical.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get on to the point about him obviously taking the blame for stuff, above him. But, I mean, that performance was the start of the season. All right, we've got away with it in league, right? Up until Rangers, we got away with it, right? St Mirren, we got away with it. Who else did we play? Aberdeen, we played all right, actually. So, what I'm saying is, this can't just be poor decision-making, Lewis. How can we possibly play the same way? And people going, why are you so negative? Like, we just got to draw at Ibrox and why? Look at that.
There's nothing to be positive about.
I mean, even look at McGregor. Like, I love McGregor to pieces, right? He's brilliant, right? But there was a moment, right, in the game where he just holds the ball facing his own goal and he gets the ball took off. I'm like, see if that was any other player, like he would actually get run out of Celtic Park.
Clearly as well overplayed. I think this goes for Kane as well. they either got to prioritise Celtic or starting for Scotland. But I don't think they can physically do both at the same time because Tierney now can't even last two halves.
No, and obviously McGregor. I don't get me wrong, it has helped obviously him not being in the Scotland squad anymore and him retiring from international football. But I mean, he cannot play a full season anymore. Like I'd love it. Like he's really good, right? Don't get me wrong, he's a brilliant player, right? But at the end of the day, like we shouldn't have to play him every week. Do you know what I mean? Like you seen that with Brownless, he wasn't playing all the. Do you know what I mean? I mean, even some players like Negrin, was playing in that position. He does not have pace to do that. I mean, they're actually just sitting the day going on the bus to my haircut, and the bus driver are still talking about. I mean, like that team should have been able to beat that Rangers team. That was like watching sawdust, watching paint dry. You know what I mean? Like
on the bus to a haircut.
Yeah, down to Port Town.
Still, it's quite a random thing to hear.
I'm just seeing the point that people are still talking about the fact that like how in the name did we not be able? I mean, that midfield really questions me at points. Like we spoke about McGregor there, Engels. Oh, dearie me. Who else played? Negrin was on the wing. So who else played? Atati. Oh, normally Atati in big games, but geez, I don't know. It's clearly, obviously, which we're going to get onto soon, Lewis, about everything from the top to bottom of Celtic Football Club is going right to the team, right through that team. And Rodgers.
The worst part for me, I think James Forrest probably put in the best Celtic performance in that match.
That's the sad thing about it. And there's, as I said, we've said many a time on the podcast this season, there's no offence to James Forrest, but he shouldn't be relying on James Forrest to be starting and playing majority of match and trying to put something in the game. I mean, listen, Lewis, we've got any transfers in a minute. We have signed, like, we're getting left wingers out, like, our faces. Like, we don't.
It has 2011 and James Forrest is a starter for Celtic FC. It's 2025 and James Forrest is a starter for Celtic FC.
We've got news about Maeda. You probably saw Maeda and Jota. Right, obviously Jota's injured, right? Couldn't we let go, right?
That was fine though. He'd run past his form and it was good money.
Right, yeah, but we didn't replace him. Still haven't replaced him.
Yeah, that's still there.
We do not have. No, because the wingers we have are not his position. You know what I mean?
None of them can play on the right. No. Tenekte, the Tunisian one we signed, has only played right wing 7 times in his entire career.
He said he likes to go forward and not go back. So I mean, I like to see how he's Brendan Rodgers, because Rodgers loves to go back with the ball, because every time we had the ball, it was side to side. If we can't get it, if Scales had it, it's going to Vickers, going that side. If it's going back to Tierney, and then it was the same. There was no balls. And it troubled
I think maybe one of the biggest things is the difference now. You've got Ange shouting, stop passing it back, and now you've got the Brodge.
Oh, I mean, that is the same, Lewis, the 3-year spell. I think it is, because it happened before, and obviously, well, it was Rodgers. Rodgers obviously walked away. But what do you take on Rodgers, Lewis? Because
I mean, I think I've been fairly critical of him so far. I'd like to think I've been very balanced on him, but realistically, everybody's going to be biased one way or the other. I think he should go, but I don't really know who could replace him. It will just be Lennon.
But that is the next, because that is the next bit I want to go on the list before we get onto the transfers, right? The point I'm trying to make is, even if Rodgers did leave, right, which from the points of his perspective, right, I fully get, right, because the guy has been absolutely lied to his straight face.
No, but I'd even argue he has been back. It's just he can't use the players he's been backed with. It's a difference between them now.
I get that, but the point I'm trying to make is, Lewis, is because Rodgers, right, okay, Ida came in last season, Engels came in, and people are like, oh, well, we spent not so much money. We spent that much money because the Celtic board didn't pick up the phone and just go, here, we're ready to bring Ida in. No, we waited until last minute, spent 9 million, spent 10 million on Engels.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get your point, Lewis, because Rodgers, yes, right. okay, he signed these players in and he has to take responsibility. I'm not saying that he's free from it, because he certainly isn't the way we've been playing, but
as much as I do want him to go, it still is the issue of, are there any realistic replacements? We could bring back Ange, but is that realistic?
I mean,
probably not.
Well, let's look at it, Lewis, right? Because realistically, right, who's looking at this shambles of a club and going, here, I want a piece of this? Because Celtic are probably going to look at, right, when Rodgers leaves next season, because he's going to be here following the end of this season. See, after this, right?
Yeah.
Celtic's probably the type of people to go for Graham Potter, who, by the way, he's not long before he gets sacked at West Ham. A guy who's on the downward spiral. Why? I mean, even Ange, right? One look at that and he'd be like, listen.
You'd be like, no thanks.
Listen, mate. No, you're all right. Like, I'm not going. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but because who would walk into that club, Lewis, and go, oh, this is smashing? Because I'll bring it up, Lewis, because it seems to be a really running cycle of managers that is right. You ready for this? Right, so. This is talking about transfers, by the way, so we'll get into that in a minute. So, Brendan Rodgers, the first time he was at the club, in fact, we'll go before that, Ronnie Dyler. We had players we wanted to bring in, but things take too long. Negotiations drag, and then by the time we get them, the market has moved on. It makes it difficult to get the squad together quickly. That's frustrating because it slows down preparation for the season. Does that sound familiar? Let's look at Brendan Rodgers' first season, right? Here we go. We have a recruitment model here. I can only work within that. We identify players we want, but there's often a delay in negotiations. By the time a deal goes through, the market has moved on. That's always frustrating. Lennon, basically the same thing. Ange, maybe I wasn't clear enough. I don't know. I think I've been pretty consistent in saying we need more players in. Obviously, I haven't done a good enough job convincing people we need people in the door.
Ange felt like the first real different sort of excitement from the board, though, but that didn't last.
No, because as you remember, before, Rodgers basically is saying, we know what Rodgers is saying this time. We've spoken about it, right? Do you remember when Don Mackay came in, right? And obviously that was the back of us losing 10 in a row. Significance, right? This is it, right? And then we bring Ange in, right? Fair enough, it was on his own, right? We bring Don Mackay in, Lawwell out. And for that, see that length of time he was in the door, 90 days, Don Mackay, he'd done a brilliant job. He was communicating, he was bringing players and wanting in the door. And then all of a sudden, no, I don't like that. I don't like moving forward. Lawwell back in the door. All of a sudden, we go through a great spell with Ange, right? Don't get me wrong, brilliant spell. We bring Rodgers back, lie to his face about how, oh yeah, we agree with you, want to bring Celtic forward, we're going to do all this time. And the same things happen again, Lewis.
It's just repetitive at this point.
Do you know what it is? But Lewis, Celtic, see, let's go into transfers, right? Celtic, right? Clubs are actually mocking us the way we run our club, the way we go about business, right? Because I'm hearing things, right? And them WhatsApp voice notes and all that, Lewis, you're like, right? Do you know how bad this club has got that actually sounds believable? The one about Michael Nixon ignoring the phone about Yang. I feel sorry for the guy, right? Because, listen, in my opinion, Lewis obviously has another opinion on Yang, right? But in my opinion, Yang just got up to... See, be honest, right? Yang's included in Europa League squad. In my opinion, really shouldn't. He's not really. I don't think he's a Celtic.
No, I think he's up to the standard. No, he's shown it in matches. He's not consistent with it. But he can.
And glasses.
And Yang doesn't stop. You were doubtful as well. You were like, oh, Yang's over.
I wish it was, because I didn't have to hear
it. It never ends.
Anyway, yep. But the point I'm making is I feel sorry for the guy. The guy hardly speaks a lick English, like, for a start, and he's getting dragged along, like, down to Birmingham, right, of all places.
Lucky.
Well, maybe he's took a look at Birmingham and went, "Oh, geez, I'm not playing here."
It's a reasonable reaction.
We know it's Celtic because Nicholson didn't answer his phone, and there you go, Yang back up the road. It's the same with Welsh.
Like, make you wonder what that entire process is like from their half of it, because surely you can't be that bad without it being purposeful.
he done it last season, Lewis, with Ida. That's why we had to pay 9 million for him.
You know, but I'm thinking it's got to be something like he's told, oh, you need to do it this exact way for like regulations or whatever.
I mean, if people sit there and go, Dermot Desmond is a green and white man through and through, you're having a laugh because he's been sitting playing golf with Rory McIlroy, Lewis. So you're telling me this man's a Celtic hard man? He should be at the games every week for a start. He should be looking at how bad we are and going, here, let's throw money in and do it. No, because that's a sensible way to run a club. No.
I think it is.
On you, Lewis.
I think it's just a bit crazy. How are you going to work for a club, right? Being one of the top executive positions, have the fans constantly badgering you, and then think, you know, it could be easy PR to show up at a couple of matches. Maybe buy a whole row of food and drinks like that one Crystal Palace did. Nah, he's just not going to show up.
No, he's probably putting 9 holes in past Rory McIlroy. I mean, putting 9 million or like spending 9 million on a player. But we'll get on it. Let's get on it, Lewis, because the breaking
news. If I get a hole in one, I don't know golf terms. If I get a hole in one, that's one new transfer.
Honestly, that's what it probably feels like. It probably missed all the holes. But anyway, them three, Lawwell, who should never be back at the club. Well, before I go to transfers, see the day Dermot Desmond, right? I'm saying this the nicest way possible. Dies, right? Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
It's never going to be a nice way to say that.
But we don't need to worry because guess what? His son's there, right there to step in place. Because there you go, and the club is getting sucked out of every bit of life out of him, every single bit of life out of Celtic. I mean, Lewis, right? You'll know this yourself, right? The state of Celtic Park is horrendous. Now, this was 8 months ago, right? Bear in mind, babies who are conceived in January are being born, and Celtic Football Club is not fixed their storm damage in January.
That's shocking.
That's the small things, like the inside as well. I mean, like the situations about the crowding and all the... I mean, the state of the pie stalls is horrendous. Like, the prices for a start, but the state of them as well. Like, they're not even up to... Like, as a back to the point I was saying, Lewis, we class ourselves as a world-class club, right? Is that the way a world-class club runs? Is that the way Bayern Munich runs?
We made this exact point as well.
Yep.
I think 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Here's a bit of a crazy thing for you then. For as much as like fans and the board like to go on about the 9 in a row, there were children born after us losing it who are now attending matches.
Yeah, and they've also seen its success, Ange and the start of Rodgers. Now they're starting to see what's happened, what we've experienced, Lewis, and I just get a feeling it's get deja vu all over it again because it's sickening. Like, I mean, you, Lewis, I've said it. We just started the podcast. It's sickening. We don't want to In fact, the North Curve have done brilliant. I don't want to go away with it. I'll talk about it later again about I put it on down below. Fans sign with North Curve with a message to the board, the questions we want to answer. Because any other club, even take a look at across the city, Lewis, they're getting answers about why we went in the market. This is such. No, we're in the dark. And it's the same about if you talk to anybody who supports Celtic, Lewis. You know what I mean? It's the same. We don't have a clue.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of a rogue bit to go on. But this is the point you never really see come up about just football talk on podcasts.
Right.
It's been shown recently that football as a sport is seeing overall lower fanship from younger generations now. They'll grow up following players because, you've got social media and all that. So a lot of clubs now are focusing on community outreach, getting in the new fans when they're young. Where's any of that from Celtic?
No, not at all. I get right. Obviously, there's got to be a part of the board. Like, listen, we've got to see if the board even spoke a word to us. When is the last time, Lewis, as well, we've had a word from? Look, Lewis, we had a fan forum last year. Was that just to tick a box and go here? By the way, we were really good with the fans. By the way, nothing improved. By the way, nothing at all. Actually, got worse. Everything in that. Just see if the Celtic board went like that. By the way. We're keeping it for your birthday, by the way. But see that money we didn't spend in the transfer window. We actually kept it to improve the stadium. Nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it also is weird. You sort of come from a period of a few months where it seems like every club was just putting out statement after statement.
Yep.
And yet Celtic, quiet.
No, the only statement Celtic make is when a new shirt comes out. And I've had enough of it, Lewis. Like, listen, I get people, which we'll get on to in a minute, about the Europa League Kings, but I'll come back to... Do you know, we'll do the point now because I want to talk about it, then we can get... It mixes in. It does mix in with the transfers anyway, Lewis. It does. So, what the point I'm making is that fans are obviously going off the... Which I'm on the home cup scheme, which basically, like, it's like a direct debit. It takes the money off you, like, for the cup games and the European games, right? Fans are going off it. They're signing off it, right? Europa League as well. People are giving up that. And the thing as well, season ticket, right? Mine, obviously, because of discounts, right? I got mine for like 200, right? Or something, right? I can't mind, like 200, £300, right? New home shirt, 70 quid, right? Right? Training stuff. Food at the game. You're talking about nearly £500 for meat, like for a season for, like, in my perspective. But people hiring that, Lewis, you're talking about £1,000 every season. Where is that rainy day money? Where is that all that money from merchandise, everything going to? There's nothing. There's absolutely no improvement.
It's interesting as well because football clubs financially tend to overall lose money. You see in the Premier League, a lot of their clubs don't make their owners much profit, other than like your Man United's.
Well, they had it, but you know.
But you'll still see decent investment in them.
Yep.
You know, the owners are doing whatever they can to make the clubs profitable. To how much success, I'll let you decide. But none of it from Celtic. The profits come from playing in the Champions League, signing players and then selling them on.
Who, I just don't get, like, who looked like from the board and went, I don't really want to take that in the Champions League again. I don't think that was really... Like, how can you look at that? Like, if someone told me on after we lost the treble, right? And all right, it was disappointing. But I was looking forward to this new adventure. We're going to do the same again in the Champions League. We're going to maybe progress a wee bit further, you know what I mean, with some signings. We're still not replaced Kyogo. Kuhn. Jota's out injured still. I mean, see if somebody told me we'd be in the Europa League, I'm like, all right, okay, I can deal. Okay.
Yeah.
The squad's going to get really worse. We're going to be sitting on the 5th of September and you're in the Europa League, you're no confident, the board's a shambles. I'm like, are we in COVID again? Because this is exactly how it works.
Yeah. I think this might be how it's gone down. Oh, I know everybody wants us to be in the Champions League, boys, but have you seen how much a flight to Kazakhstan costs these days? Not having it.
Money. See, as long as their money is going into their back pocket at the end of the day, they don't care. They simply don't. And that's the sad state of reality in 2025. Because being a Celtic fan, you want to do more than just not turn up to games, not buying stuff. It needs to take a big significance. And I love the fan sign thing. And I'm with Lewis on this. Obviously, a lot of fan media and Celtic YouTube podcasts and such have signed up with us. I will email North Corp and we will join because this simply, like, there's got to be something that's got to change, Lewis. Because I'll just read the questions that the North Curve, the Game Brigade and such, I've put to the board. I'm obviously not going to read all of it, right? But I'm just going to put the questions, right? So, first question: what is the club's long-term football and strategy, and when and how will this be communicated to supporters? What these questions are what every Celtic fan, what we're talking about on this podcast, or what's the know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, another question, right? Okay, let's go for this one. When will supporters receive results of the fan survey? Still never. Why has the results of the Fairhurst inquiry not been made public? Which we're talking about, obviously, the Green Brigade not being allowed into the game. For the Rangers game. Why does the club continue to resist working with supporters to improve matchday atmosphere, supporter experience, and consultation on key issues such as ticket pricing and distribution? There you go. And also, there's a couple more in there as well. But, Lewis, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, Michael Nixon probably, his PA is probably like that. Don't want that.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill me for that. If you want to be a chief executive of this club, why do you not want to work with the fans? It's like you're against us. Like, we're the problem.
Like, how are you going to sign up to a club famous for its fans and then decide, nah?
Because I mean, I know, like, as I said earlier in the season, Lewis, right? Obviously, things can get better. This could have a lasting effect on Celtic in the transfer window, the way we've acted, but I'll get back to that. Let's round off on the board real quickly, Lewis. First, right, no Simpson Pusey or Imamura in that Europa League squad. What does that tell you? Why did we sign him? Why did Simpson Pusey sign? Why did we sign Imamura? What? Who thought in that boardroom, oh, he'd be a great signing, he'll be improve our squad? We've not seen Simpson Pusey once. Like, it's not like, all right, okay.
And I refuse to believe it's going to be something like, oh, he's not match fit or anything. When he was starting matches for Man City, he was training with them in pre-season. There's no way he's like injured or whatever.
And that just sums it all up. You know, we're having to buy 3 players, which will go on to deadline day, absolute shambles, which we'll now get on to. I'll get back to the board because I have a lot of. You'll be happy to know, Lewis. There'll be no quiz this week. It's just straight to Twitter questions, so don't worry. So it's deadline day.
It's like war is over, but at what cost?
At what cost? We'll talk about deadline day. So the breaking news that came out today, Lewis, Maeda came out and spoke to the Japanese media and said there was an offer on the table for him to leave the club, but Celtic weren't allowing it until we got a replacement in. Did we get a replacement in? No, so Maeda was not allowed to leave. So wait again.
That doesn't necessarily seem bad. You don't want one of your star players to leave without a replacement, and if you can't find one, it makes no sense to let them go anyway.
Lewis. We targeted Kasper Dolberg in the start of the window. It took us until the deadline day to make a move.
Maeda anyway.
No, but Lewis, I'm saying...
Yeah, I'm talking specifically on Maeda here.
No, but Lewis, if we wanted to replace a player, right, it's okay. Maeda, right, we're going to act him as a striker, because Adam Maeda, right, just say he was already away. If you want to replace him as a striker, you make that your goal from the 27th of May. When Maeda put that request in to leave the club, you go like that, right, get the signs in the door, and make sure they're coming in. Why wait until deadline day? Why wait to make that move? Because then the boy Dolberg, right, especially, let's look at Dolberg's situation, right? Right, okay, deadline day. Celtic, do I want to go to them whose club they can't handle? No, I want to go back to my home place I went to, Ajax, because see if Celtic looked at a club to be, I'd love Celtic to be at a Ajax be, or a Brighton. Do you know what I mean? That's the way Celtic should be looking to be.
I wouldn't quite say you want Celtic to be like Ajax after their recent years of many issues.
I'm talking about the way they run their transfers, Lewis, the way they run the actual club. You know, like
they also had issues with fans in the recent season, and then only buying youth prospects and refusing to bring in actual first-team players.
Well, it sounds a bit like Celtic, but anyway,
it's not exactly the best example you could have picked.
I'm Lewis, like a Brighton, like Brighton are doing well, right?
Yeah.
Right. Look at Brighton, right? Just look at a club that's doing well with their fans and board are together, right? And the players as well, and the manager, of course. How, like, Dolberg's probably like that. Do I really want to go to Celtic? See if it was the start of the window, Lewis, right? When you're talking about, right, let's look at the Maeda situation. Maeda's got a club offer, right? Right, okay. We'll accept that. We'll get Dolberg coming in because Dolberg's looking at, listen, I can make myself a hero, get us into the Champions League and move to a bigger club. And you know what I mean? I'm not expecting Dolberg to stay here forever, Lewis, you know what I mean? But deadline day, I mean, I'm just embarrassed. That was a shambles. Ian Atchell, a guy who's probably about 5 ton overweight, one goal in 5 months.
He's like Kasper Schmeichel, because let's be honest, Schmeichel's not had a good last few months, and he definitely doesn't look particularly fit.
1 goal in 5 months in Middlesbrough, and bearing in mind, Ian Atchell turned us down in January, and the fact is, he went to Sevilla, right? In Sevilla, like, I don't want to deal with you, Celtic, so we're going to let him go, and then you can deal with just Ian Atchell. That's how bad our club is mocked.
Actually, you know what? Here's one of the main issues. Even if we brought him in for rotation, him and Balik Wisha are both more likely than not going to be out for the African Cup of Nations.
There's another point, Lewis. Who, and Tuneki, whatever the winger, who thought of this? Who actually sat down and go, here, by the way, these are some great players to sign for Celtic, by the way. I mean, the left backs are actually okay.
Looks like probably one of the better options. I quite like the look of him.
Lewis, this is the players that came into this club, right? Ignore Imamura, right? So we get Imamura, Yamada, Callum Osmond, basically made for the B team. Kieran Tierney. See, after Kieran Tierney, it's Shambles.
Even in
Absolute
Athletic
Shambles.
was still a good signing. Personally, I would make Osmond the starting striker just to give him a run.
See the fact that you're saying that, Lewis, in September, and we should have had an actual starting striker. Now, I'm not saying Adam Eder should still be at the club, right? Because we spoke about it, he's absolutely hopeless, right? And
Yeah.
I'm surprised we got 7 million from, so thank you, Swansea, right? But anyway, what I'm saying is, I do not see Ian Atchell scoring 20 goals like Adam Eder did last season, so where are we getting that from? Where are we getting the goals? Where?
Yeah, I think it might be 3 episodes ago, we went through the goal tally of everybody that's left and we failed to replace, and it was 80 or 90 goals.
Wait, Lewis, the next time the quiz comes back is when Celtic score a goal. That's it. Yeah. There you go.
Next time the quiz come back is when we put in a decent performance.
Oh, aye. We win and get I know. I mean that transfer window just summed up for me that's got to be the last straw for me, Lewis, because I think the board are running the club into the ground. I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's. It's even in January, Lewis, because the board will come out like this, right? This is what they're going to say. January's very a stressful time, you know. There's not a lot of clubs want to talk to us. The reason the clubs don't want to talk to the Celtic board is because we don't, first of all, pick up the phone. That's why. You know what I mean?
Like, nobody wants to do business with the guy who's like, give me a few months to see if I can find something a bit cheaper, and I'll be back if I can.
That annoyed me and all, because that annoyed Anderlecht, because Anderlecht get put out of Europe, right? So Anderlecht told him the price that they wanted for Kasper Dolberg, and Celtic's like, nah, that's a bit too much for me. That's a bit, the usual, absolute usual. And then we bidded from a guy from the Go Ahead Eagles, who their board literally mocked in person. Celtic Football Club literally came out and said that we were actually getting mocked all over the joint because the way our club's getting run loose. And this is where before I go into Twitter question, this is where I do feel sorry for Brendan Rodgers, because personally, in my opinion, he's been lied right to his face. He's been lied to about the Celtic board being serious, about them being serious about, let's progress, let's get somewhere in Europe. I mean, there was actually people, right, Lewis, I know you're probably going to laugh at us at first, right? But see the Hearts chairman, right?
Yeah.
He came out and said, see the next 10 years at Hearts, we want to win a trophy. And now he got a lot of backlash, right? He got really, really, right? And see realistically, Lewis, right? Because one of the questions on the Twitter questions I was reading through puts it perfectly, right? The way Celtic and obviously Rangers are going at the minute, right? You wouldn't put past your Hibs, your Hearts. Look at Aberdeen. So, I mean, that's a brilliant signing they got on deadline day, by the way. Who, by the way, would walk into that Celtic team at the minute. I wouldn't be surprised, Lewis, if they win a trophy or win Hearts or something in the next 10 years, maybe win the league. Because see at the minute the way this club's running, because this will affect us for many years, Lewis. It will.
I wouldn't even be surprised if within the current season Hearts win something, because they've looked by far probably one of the best teams in Scotland.
Yeah. Right. Let's get into Twitter questions, Lewis. Your favourite part? I don't think it's going to be very. I mean, I've seen a few that's maybe putting a positive spin on a random question. So let's get into it. Right. So with the way the current board have run the club, how would you feel about the very slim chance of investment by an outside party like Red Bull City Group?
I mean, obviously, it's bad for football overall. So I think I'd oppose it.
Well, even if you said, Lewis, it's this, Dermot Desmond will never be challenged by fans because the stake of the club is so high that even if we got everybody after their season tickets to put something into the club for a fan ownership, you're talking, you wouldn't be able to. Like, it's that far ahead, the board I've got, that's really, really sad. So does Celtic refusing to restructure like a modern football club worry you, where the traditional or big clubs in the Premiership have clear strategy? That's what the question, the one I was telling you about, Lewis. Is there a chance? And
that should probably worry everybody.
So the question is, Lewis, is there a chance in a few years we fall behind not just Rangers domestically? I think there's a there's a downward spiral we're going down. It's going, woof.
I don't think we'll fall behind Rangers, but I can see us falling behind clubs taking a more modern approach.
Fair enough. There's a positive question, Lewis. You'll have it in all. But it does sound depressing. Obviously, Celtic legends are playing Man United legends at the weekend at Celtic Park, and the question is, it's not all bad. Tom Rogic is back this weekend. And then the depressing bit, Lewis, is seriously low. Have Aberdeen signed a better winger than we have this summer? Yes, they have. Because Rangers have spent more on us, right? And albeit we probably think this guy's going to be rubbish for them. This 8 million they spent on the guy, right? But the point is, at least they went out there and spent the money. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
It just. I feel as if we've said it quite a few times by now, but it is the hope that kills you.
Yep. So, Lewis, this is a good question, right? Is it too drastic to say that losing the league is the only way to get change? Obviously, the COVID season example that I brought to you earlier. Is it that drastic, or is there a different point in this season where something happens?
I suppose if the only way, like, something will really happen is if all the fans just like refuse to go to matches or buy the latest kit or whatever. But that's not very realistic, if we're being honest.
No, it's not. Nothing's going to help. That's not. You need something bigger than that. You know, like do the protests every week, sign sack the do. You know what I mean? That's going to take time, and that's the sad reality of it. This is one of those questions, Lewis. Tierney is a downgrade on Taylor.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far.
That is an interesting question.
Come on, let's be a bit serious here.
How fast do you reckon I could beat Michael Nicholson? Oh, right, okay. How fast do you reckon I could beat Michael Nicholson in a race if it was me and him in a room? So it goes, I'm 6'8" and 400 pounds.
I don't think.
And the current undisputed world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I don't think it would take very long.
Somebody went, will you be patching the kebab pies in protest? Yes, sadly, that's got to be done. It's got to be done. That has got to be done.
Yep, still not really listen.
Well, I'll put this question, I'll answer it in the way it's said, and I'll give you a different type bit, right? What's your favourite away game? Okay.
Well, an away game to Rangers is always good.
I've never been. No, but I'm going to ask you what's your favourite game you've been to. I'm talking about my favourite away game I've been to, probably.
Oh, right. Me too.
Right, well, right. I'll think you say.
Well, you know, I'll give it to the. Well, we were at Morton. We were at the Morton home, but we were in the away end for the Partick match, and I think it was Partick. That was pretty entertaining.
Do you know that? Yeah, that was 2 years ago today. There you go.
That feels old.
What was I going to say? Mine would be when Yakimakis, remember him, scored last minute for Celtic against St Johnstone. 92nd minute, he pulled his... Oh, brilliant. Let's see if we get anything else. Do you think Don Mackay would ever come back? That bridge has collapsed. That is...
even if he wanted to, which, come on now, it just wouldn't happen.
No, there's no way that that would happen again, because why would Don Mackay want to come back? Because of Jesus me, no.
Yeah, he's got a bit of sense to him.
I just want to finish off before we get on to my question to Lewis to make it light-hearted. So in less than 24 hours, an additional 160 Celtic supporter clubs and 29 fan media and online platforms have signed the open letter to Celtic. So we urge Celtic to respond. So that's from the North Curve. So yes, we hope to hear from the board. Sitting here in 70 years' time, still waiting on an answer. So this is the question, Lewis, right? We're talking about transfers, right? I was talking about the Go Ahead Eagles boy, right? Their sporting director said it wasn't close. The gap between what we were asking for and Celtic was willing to pay was simply too big. The player was open to it, but there was no agreement with Celtic. The amount we asked for was realistic, in line with the market, and considering how things went with Ant-Man to Rangers.
So, again, with the board refusing to hand over the money.
Yep. What happened to us, Lewis, from that Bayern Munich man? What happened to us? What happened?
It feels like a million different players away. Like, if you look at the current squad, they don't perform like that team.
No. I don't get it, but it make it light-hearted, Lewis, and finish off. What a rant of 40 minutes that has been. And if you are enjoying, please hit that like button, subscribe, and if you're watching the podcast live on Twitch, hit that follow button.
If you subscribe, we might get one signing this winter.
Coming to you in 2072. What signing? No, what signing? What food have you been really? If you try something new, or what's your go-to these days?
So, right, what do you mean? You kind of mumbled that up there.
I need to blow my nose up. Well, the question was, right, so what food or drink, right, are you what, if you found a new drink or have you found new food, or what's your go-to right at this moment?
You know what? I'm a big fan of Monster and all that, but I've quite enjoyed Red Bull lately.
Red Bull's better. Anyway, what was that? Anyway, yeah.
I better not hear that again.
But anyway, yeah, Red Bull was just the normal one, or
just the regular Red Bull.
Fair enough.
It won't last, mind you. I'm still Monster loyal, but
just like the Union Bears, I will stay loyal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, it's got to be Subway. I love a go-to Subway. Love it.
Fair enough.
Favorite? I've just got to go with Red Bull because I just I thrive off it. It's brilliant. It keeps you awake when it's not bad, but we'll finish off the pod, right? This is the way it goes, right? So we'll finish it off and wait, right? So basically, I basically get up at 5 in the morning, right? And I get the 6:20 bus.
Yeah, but you're going all the way up to Glasgow, so
that's what I'm proving, right? Lewis doesn't have to wake up till about 8 o'clock.
No, let me think. Well, I wake up. I like an early wake up, so I'm up at 7:30. But
he's up at 7:30. That's how I need Red Bull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, we hope you have enjoyed episode 72 of us ranting. I thought it went really well. I thought we did really good today, Lewis.
I suppose it was acceptable.
Yeah, I think we did really good. And the quiz will be back when Celtic score a goal and a good performance. So, yeah, that will probably be next week.
You'll never see me again.
Next week, we're gonna hold off. We're gonna hold off till probably the Monday because Celtic play Kilmarnock away. So we're gonna hold off to the Monday. Okay, and then that'll be the Kilmarnock game, and obviously Europa League preview as well. Sadly, we're going to have to do that as well. So,
yeah. If we lose against Kilmarnock, you'll never see me again.
Boycott the Kelly Pies.
I'll be resigning from my post here.
Then it will be a real struggle. But yeah, we hope you have enjoyed. If you have enjoyed episode 72, please hit like, subscribe. And Lewis, final word of the show?
No.
That's
I think that just sums up the recent feelings.
And yeah.